Hi, I'm Matt, and this is my CCM Tacks shoulder pads review. I got these in June of last year, just like the elbow pads and the shin pads. And special thank you to JR, CCM, and Mod Squad Hockey for giving me these to do a review on and to test them out. Just like the other products in the line, these have replaced my older shoulder pads and are my go-to pair. And I don't really think I'll be replacing them anytime soon. My older pair I had before were a pair of Warrior Projects. I'll show them a little later just for a comparison. So let's begin with this review. Now I've gone through quite a few of shoulder pads in my playing time just because I could never really find anything that fit me really well, especially in terms of straps. Every time I would wear a couple shoulder pads for like a year, it would end up having to pull the straps as tight as possible. Often I would have to wrap it around my stomach, and it caused a lot of issues with the shoulder padding to bunch up and stuff like that. It was very frustrating. The way CCM did the straps here, which are pretty small and actually very small, and just the way the whole shoulder pad wraps around you does a really good job. I fit into about right here for strap tightness, and that's perfectly fine. These are the one pair, actually this whole entire line is the one pair line of equipment where I never felt I really had to tighten anything to the maximum. So the way everything fit just kind of stays put, and it's really great in that sense. Now, we'll move on to different parts in here. The shoulder caps here are built with just the foam, outer foam like most are now. It has D3O foam on the inside, as you can see, but I can't really tell you if this does a whole lot or not. And just it's one of the weird places where you don't get hit that often. Pretty much the only time I would be able to feel anything from here is if you crash into the boards. I don't play in a body check league, so that doesn't really work there. Do take body checks though, or if a puck hits there, and it's kind of rare to be able to tell how well that D3O foam affects the cap versus if this didn't have it in there. I would have maybe liked to see them use that D3O somewhere else too as well, like maybe in the sternum and back plate spine protection, but it is what it is. I do feel the caps do a really good job of protecting your shoulders though. Like I do say I'd crash into the boards, I will go full speed and just wipe out, it happens. And I haven't had any issues. There's been a couple times where the game has stopped because I crashed so hard into the net or the boards and just got up and skated off. And I do give props to these shoulder pads. If I wasn't wearing them, I'd be in much worse condition. Now this bicep protection is probably my favorite part of these shoulder pads completely, and the reason being I really like how low they go and how they integrate with the elbow pads. There's this nice softer, thicker foam material for protection on here, which is really great, and I kind of wish they used this thickness or just how big the blocks are more on the chest and back for more protection there. And I do like the adjustability of it a lot. This bottom piece too is really great in terms of just basically coming over top of the Tacks elbow pads and leaving no gap of protection there. It's really good when I can put my arms down and know everything is covered. The inside of the shoulder caps and these bicep protections is this interesting foam material. It's kind of similar to this, but softer, and I do feel it does a good job as a liner. I kind of almost wish this was used even on the chest, but it's not that flexible, so I understand why. This bicep piece is almost perfect. I really like it, but my one issue with it is how it connects to the Velcro at the bottom here. The one side is done horizontally, which is very nice, but at the same time it's kind of hard to stick it on. I put it as low as I can go so I can get the most protection, and the annoying part is the other part, Velcro, is done vertically. So you have to fold it over and kind of line it up right and fold it down and hope it sticks. And as you can hear, it was sometimes popping up. I haven't had issues while playing in terms of it coming undone, but you can hear it move, and it's just not as secure as I'd like it to be. I kind of wish there was like a strip of Velcro all the way across it holding it together. That would make it much nicer to hold on to, like this piece right here. Or even instead of having this piece at the very end, just have it attached inwards. Something like that would make it just a little bit better in my opinion, and just hold it better in place. It's such a great feature to have, this extendable bicep protection, just to cover everything on your arm. but just the way it's connected is slightly awkward. I'm going to move on now to just the main chest piece. It does have hard plastics or very hard foams in here, which is, this part here is much harder than actually on the bicep. So it's good for protection in that sense. You have the hard foams here, which are almost plastic. And these, just the same as on the back too. We have the kidney protection as well. I really like how that's done. Now, the one great thing about this too is this piece doesn't stick up, and the back piece doesn't stick up like some other shoulder pads I've worn. The Warriors I have here is a good example. And when you'd be playing, it kind of felt like you had an extension to your stomach. And it looked weird, and it kind of played weird, and it was awkward, and things just got tied up with it once in a while. This is so low profile, it's really good in that sense, and I really like it. My one issue is I don't feel the Tacks armor here is thick enough for the protective line. I wish it was thicker. I don't know what they could do with it, maybe make these triangles larger and thicker all across the board, but then you lose a bit of flexibility. I like how this is done. I can feel pucks and elbows and stuff like that, and I know you're going to feel things with playing hockey, but it's a little more than I'd like. So sometimes, like when I could block a shot, I'm kind of hesitant to get my chest in the way, as of where before I wasn't. So that's one thing I would like them to change. As you can see, that is the thickness for the Tacks armor, and like I said, I do wish it was a little thicker in that regards. My other complaint is this extendable stomach protection, I guess like ab protection. It's removable through Velcro. And my issue with it is if I ever forgot my undershirt, this was a huge annoyance when wearing. Just the way this is connected with a hard strip of like Velcro right here, and like that exposed seam really rubbed against my stomach, and it was really, really awkward and almost painful. Even when wearing Under Armour and underclothing, you can feel it and it's awkward, and I really wish there was a different solution to this. Even making sure this was all just attached into it so it wasn't as flexible like this would have been perhaps better, because that would not expose these seams, which is the real issue here. Or even putting on the outside might be a little better. I do like how you have an option to extend it, and I know most shoulder pads have that, but I do like that this is an option there. I do like the most protection as possible, but this piece is really awkward, and even when you take off this the extra protection, that awkward seam is still there and still causing me problems. It's not actually the part that you connect to it. It doesn't have as big an impact on the back, just because your back, I feel, stays flatter more. When you bend over, you're bending over into this, you don't really bend backwards into this. So one of the very nice things about these shoulder pads too is kind of the neck and collarbone area protection. They have some nice foam here and on the back as well. And I know I've taken some pucks up here and I shrugged them off. So that's very nice. So the point of this material right here, the stretch material, and it's also on the back, as you can see, is so when you raise your arms up, the actual chest and back piece stay absolutely still. So it acts as an independent piece from the actual shoulder pads and the caps over here and the bicep pads. So when you lift them, it stays still and it doesn't interfere with your neck, whereas in the past when you lift them, because it was all one piece without this material, the neck would raise up and might interfere with your helmet or your chin, and it actually was just annoying. It does really work, and it's a really good feature. It's a good job on CCM for figuring this out. When you actually wear it, it feels like you're almost wearing just the chest and back piece separate, when the shoulder caps and the bicep protection just moves independently and as it's on its own. It's a really nice feature. And also, one of my things about how this isn't thick enough, what I'm thinking of doing is adding a layer of protection like this. Slide it under here or put it on the back and sew it in. That way I do have that thicker padding, so if anything does hit me there, I won't have that issue. Just be nice. I wish something like there was a little thickerness to it here. And that's about all for that. Now, I'll just open this up really quick to show you the inside. Just pretty basic for shoulder pads, very easy to get in there. They're very good shoulder pads, and I would absolutely recommend them. All my only issues with them really are pretty nitpicky. Like I do wish it was a little more padded for the protection line, but it won't stop me from using them because I don't feel unsafe. I would absolutely recommend these shoulder pads to anyone looking for a very protective line, as well as the ones right below this too. They're both, I've tried them on, they're both very good. Like my issues are pretty minimal, but everything, a lot of other stuff they do is really good, like the bicep protection here. The aesthetics are really good. I'm not a huge fan of white shoulder pads because they turn yellow, but these I haven't had a huge issue with so far. They do a pretty good job with the liner. We'll see in another couple of years how that turns out, but so far it's pretty good. So yeah, I would definitely check these out and check out the 6052s as well. Great line of equipment in my opinion, and I would absolutely recommend them. We'll continue to use these since they took over for my Warriors. So thank you for watching. Please check out my other videos for more reviews, more gameplay videos. If you have any comments, please leave them below or any suggestions. And take it easy.